Morning. Bach, KFC's gross. I don't. First off, I don't miss KFC. There's one pretty close by. But no, KFC's disgusting. I don't want greased chicken. I'm not really a Popeyes person either. I mean, I like Popeyes. I just don't. I've been eating less fast food recently. Thank you for the subscription, Baki. You know I can't read any of that. Good morning, Nito. Lunar, Lepus Lunar. Falco, Bach, Epic, Pikachu, Pick, Pig. Yeah. Your opponent squid bagged you? You must suck then. They wouldn't squid bag you if you were good. The lag was so bad in my game it looked like the clams scored themselves. Well, that's unfortunate. Pig, did you even play in Low Ink? 700 plus people played in this one. Yes, you can make a change last month's roster. I don't care. What's up, Keon? Bach, you won, Low Ink. You missed an important message in chat. Oh, gosh. I want to read chat, though. I refuse to read chat. Some trivia for you. Let's see if I can find the answer in the next 3 minutes. Obviously, we're going to talk about opponent win percentage today, because it did play a major role in things, as it normally does. Who holds the record for the highest opponent win percentage of all time? And bonus points if you can name what that percentage was. Nobody's even come. The number is so hilarious that no one has even come close. 72. We get a lot of 72.22s. In fact, there was 3 teams that got that. This team skyrocketed that number. It goes to Port Raccoon in the August 2020 Low Ink. They went 5-1 that month, with an opponent win percentage of 80.55%. They finished number 2 in their Swiss group. They ended up playing the team that finished number 1, 3, 4, and 5. They literally played the top 5 teams in their Swiss group. Nothing but the best teams in their Swiss group. 80.55. Nobody's even come close to that. Like, to pull that off, Battlefy has to really hate you. I mean, we talk all the time about how like Battlefy just throws seeds out the window starting in round 2, and it's just the record. Man, Battlefy hated Port Raccoon, and they beat all of those teams. They went 5-1. Including one of the teams they beat, Luau. And I believe that is the month Luau went on to win. It was either that month or September. No. Luau won this month. And then I believe Xanadu won in September. So Port Raccoon played the top 5 teams in their Swiss group, including the team that won the whole tournament that month. They beat them. Obviously, they beat them on Sunday. That, I don't think that record will ever be broken. Like, how many other better teams can you play? Morning, Camo. That is your pop gun trivia of the day. Hello, friends, and welcome back to the Popcast. Whenever you're listening to this, whether it be live or VOD, Twitch or YouTube, or Spotify. While you are still surprised that Fry cannot win a single Splatfest, scrambling to find roommates for Low Tide City, trying to start a hashtag in spawn camping campaign on Twitter, whatever it is that you're doing right now, appreciate you taking the time out of your day to listen to this. Unless I don't. You know, with all the casual hate that gets thrown away towards Splatfest of like the competitive versus casual players, I don't know if any of that narrative is even true or not anymore. I can't tell who's trying to like genuinely be upset about spawn camping and who's just like, oh, well, let me just get the conversation started because I know somebody's going to take it and run with it. Like, I don't know how, like we've lost control of narratives of conversations, even though you read the sentence and you're like, okay, this is the take this person has, but we don't even know if that person's being serious or not. I blame Gus, as should many of you. But please, guys, I'm asking you, please stop spawn camping. Think about what you're doing. It's just the wrong thing to do. News of tournaments that may be of interest to the casual listener of the podcast. Proving Grounds is this week or this weekend. It is Sunday, 1 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time. We are running special rules, if you want to consider it to be that. No vanilla pencil is going to be allowed, and you're only allowed to use one Zuka. So no WD-40. You can't run splatter shot carbon combos. It's not going to be allowed in this upcoming Proving Grounds. Is that going to be the way going forward? I don't know. We'll see how this goes. But if you're interested in that, you want to see some weapon bans, support this tournament. Play in it, view it. Like, comment, subscribe. I don't know. Lowink would be very different. Alpha Bracket had a lot of double Zuka, a lot of pencil play. I'm kind of surprised and kind of not that we didn't see more bubbler action. It doesn't surprise me we didn't see a whole lot of splatter screen action. I feel like nobody in low level or in low ink even tries to use splatter screen anymore. We've yet to see it on stream, I think, since it's come out. I don't know how likely it is that there's two teams that are okay with it being used. It's also probably difficult to use it considering it's hard to practice it knowing that you may never be in a situation where you can actually use it in a tournament. So maybe that's why we don't really see it that much, even when both teams are okay with it. But bubbler, I guess it's not surprising that we didn't see anything change. Well, like, first off, you shouldn't be looking to low ink to see what the meta is anyways. But the upper echelon of the teams in low ink have been copying, or I would say copying, but more so like mimicking what they see as far as the meta is concerned. And it's been that way for a long time in Splatoon 3 low inks now. But with how new the patch is, I didn't see anybody like picking up a bubbler weapon that they haven't used before. And well, let's try this out in 3 days and see if we can win low ink with it. You'll probably maybe more bubbler next time, or maybe not. I don't know, but I don't think you should glean anything about what the patch means to the current meta just based off what you saw in this past low ink. Speaking of which, today we are going to be recapping low ink from the Swiss stage, from Gamma, Beta, and Alpha. Also got a CCA recap, which I should probably get up now so I have it ready to go when I actually need it. As well as recapping a bunch of other tournaments that took place this past weekend. Move Discord to the other screen. There we go. All that and more. But first, the last time I was involved in running low ink, like the actual Saturday portion of it, was January. I wasn't involved in the February low ink because we were doing the Sindal finals on the IPL stream, and I lost my voice on Sunday. I didn't take part in the Saturday portion of last month's Low Inc. Because I was playing in the Nines tournament. And if you recall from 4 months ago, or 3 months ago, I guess, when I was talking about that January Low Inc., I was very frustrated with how it went, not from like who won or how the tournament actually played out, from just from like a TOing standpoint. I was just frustrated because it didn't really live up to what I was kind of, or what I hope Low Inc. has become. It just in general, as I'm getting older and, PJ's getting older, it's just I'm just more irritable in some things and not much in others. But I've kind of lost the fun that kind of comes with being TOing for anything, really, especially Low Inc. However, this past weekend has been one of the most fun that I've had being involved in Low Inc. over the past 4 years now. I guess April was the 4-year anniversary of the first time I commentated Grand Finals of Low Inc. That is insane. This Low Inc. was perfect, and it was great, and I had so much fun doing everything that was involved in it. Swiss went smoothly. The pre-show was a lot of fun. We got some soda talk out of some people. We got our top 5 sodas. We got a bunch of people to talk about other teams that haven't been mentioned before, or like, hey, like nobody's talking about this team. I want to spend some time hyping up my friends and stuff like that. It was like, that's great. I feel like we haven't really figured out how to make the pre-show good, and I think we're starting to figure that out. I think we're starting to figure out how to get the right kind of questions out of people to make them entertaining, to make them interesting to listen to, and that's more fun for us. The Prego Man emotes. I don't know what that was about, but we played into it. It's the emotes the Low Inkers seem to like, so we're just gonna roll out with that. We get to make some jokes over the course of the tournament. Just had some good conversations in the general chat. Yes, there was a lot of talk about tiebreaker rules, but there wasn't anybody that was like, well, the tiebreaker rules were dumb. There was just like an actual conversation explaining why tiebreakers are the way they are, and just different theories and stuff. Commentating with Knox was a lot of fun. I honestly don't know what people think about the style of commentary that I've kind of adopted with Knox and Brush, which is just talking. Like everybody would suggest that is the kind of style people want to hear from commentators, is like, you don't need to talk about the game for 5 straight minutes because there's not really that much to talk about. But at the same time, there's like no way to get feedback. Like if this was when Falco and I were commentating Grand Finals of LTC last year, our voices were being projected to the entire room. So like you make a joke, you can hear the audience laugh. Or if like you say something, like, oh, tower control sucks, you can hear the crowd react to that, clapping or booing or whatever. Online, you don't get any feedback at all. Like the only feedback you get is from chat, but chat's busy. They're listening to you, but by the time they would type out a reaction to the things you're saying, you're already on like 5 sentences down the line, and something awesome happened in the game that's covering that. So there's like zero way to get any feedback. So you just got to commentate what makes it fun for you. And I personally had a lot of fun just kind of shooting the poop with Knox there. Oh my gosh, splash tags. You guys, pat yourselves on the back. I'm so proud of you. It took us almost 2 years, but finally, the splash tag issue really wasn't an issue at all. Now, there are people who changed it and like tried to use alias. Oh, I didn't know there was an alias rule. And it's like, oh, okay. Well, take your alias off and you're going to lose that game. Oh, look, your splash tags never matched at all, did they? Maybe that's why you're in the alias. Like, we had some of that, but we didn't kick any teams for having not entered splash tags, and we only kicked 6 total players for not entering their splash tags. Everybody else, I think some teams dropped anyways because like, oh, well, we can't play without that player, or we don't want to get a sub or whatever. But we didn't kick. I think this is a first time we never kicked a full team for not having their splash tags entered. Yes. Now, maybe when we go to Sindao, like, you have to enter your splash tag to make the Sindao account anyways, so that won't be a thing. if that transition ever goes through. Just another reason to get the hell off of Battlefy. If it wasn't for all those doggone ads. Are you guys getting those ads too? Like as you're actually playing the matches, like those shoe ads just pop up and it's like, go away. Like when did this become the norm for Battlefy? Like I get you need to make money, but man, that sucks. Overall, this tournament was fun. I enjoyed TOing Low Ink for the first time in a long time. And that has nothing to do with the fact that Brush and Hoenn weren't around. It has nothing to do. Brush was busy all weekend doing some stage production stuff, and Hoenn was celebrating some things with his family. So it has nothing to do with, yes, those two are out of the way. I can actually start enjoying this tournament. No, like I'm excited because our staff did such a great job. Lepis manning all of the help desk stuff for a good chunk of time. Strings was killing it on the socials. Of course, Kariki and the verification team knocked out verification this month. Pac helping out with the Battlefy stuff. We were able to get Kiwi trained on some things. It was just overall a good staffing Low Ink, and it's like, yes, when we get more people back next month, it's going to be even better. Like, I'm genuinely excited to do Low Ink again next month, and it's so weird. So why is that? What is the determining factor that played into the fact that I actually enjoyed this, other than like the 7 or so reasons I just listed off there? It's because we went back to the old format. Back when Low Ink was Low Ink. You know, when squids were squids, when I didn't grow the facial hair out, and this is probably going to stay for the rest of my life because I can't rock the bald face, bald head kind of look. We got to have some hair going on somewhere here. The old 2 Swiss groups into a double elimination alpha, beta, and gamma bracket. Now, we had 127 teams after check-in ended. By the way, not like only 7 teams didn't check in, 7 or 8 teams, which is also a really low record. We had just as many teams drop over the course of the tournament as we always do. Who cares? But most team players that signed up actually checked in. But we had less than 128. I think we were at 127 on the dot when the tournament actually started on round 1. And I'm not gonna repeat why we do that. If you are genuinely, I'm more than happy to explain, but I feel like most of the people in the live audience understand why we switched to that format when we hit that number. If you leave a highlighted message, I'll go back and explain it, but otherwise I'm just going to move on. So I think you guys get the point by now. So the old format is great for the TO side of things. It's just so much easier. Like double elimination requires 0 TOing. Almost 0 TOing. Like there's nothing you really need to do. You don't have to start the next round. You don't have to. The only thing I ever really do with Proving Grounds once that goes live is just like fix scores every now and then. Somebody will report the wrong score. Like that's literally all you do for Proving Grounds once it got started. So Sunday you can literally just sleep through it. I mean, somebody will come to help desk and complain about lag, and we're like, nope, we don't have lag rules. Bye. Hey, I need to add a sub to our roster. I guess that's like the main thing you got to do is just add subs to it. But yeah, the double M side is just so much easier to run from a TOing side of things. And only having 2 Swiss groups to keep track of. Yes, the 2 Swiss groups are massive, 64 teams almost in both of them compared to the smaller 4 ones. But it's so easier to just look at all one group on one page. All right, let's go check on B. How are they doing? All right, there it is all right there. Like it's so much easier to just check all those different groups when they're just right back to each other there. So TO inside of things, it's just overall less stressful for us. And I've been preaching for a while now. Why add new things to your tournament if it makes it more stressful for you as the TO? Like that's dumb. The TO experience should be one of, if not your most important priorities at TO, because there's no reason to do any of this if you're burning yourself out. There's absolutely no reason to do it. There's 0 net positive if you're just going to burn yourself out and make the rest of your life feel a little bit miserable because you're doing stuff like this. So the TO inside is easier, less stressful. Unfortunately for you guys, it's the exact opposite. Going back to the old format makes things way more stressful and way more tedious for you guys. It is extremely more difficult to play in this old format than it is with the new format. As I know, alpha bracket being single limb in the top 32 thing can be frustrating. Man, we only got to play one match in alpha bracket. We lost, and then it's over. Yeah, but what if Swiss was basically a double elimination tournament? What if you had to start off Saturday and you knew you had to win 5 games? Otherwise, you basically had zero shot of moving on to alpha bracket. That's got to be extremely stressful. Of the 16 teams that qualified for alpha bracket after Sunday, 14 of them had a 5-1 or better record. 14. That means only 2 of those 16 teams were 4-2. One 4-2 team from each group. So you either had to win all 5 games or be the best 4-2 team out of your group. And when you are the best 4-2 team out of your group, you are tied with 14 other teams. There were 30 teams that went 4-2 in this tournament. 30 teams that went 4-2. 28 of them missed alpha bracket. That is rough. That is extremely rough. In the top 32 format, yes, you could go 4-2 and miss top 32 and fall down to gamma bracket. I totally get that. But you at least have a little bit of hope. Here you have no hope. You have next to no hope of making alpha bracket if you go 4-2. Beta bracket was literally nothing but 4-2 teams. And only 4 3-3 teams got into gamma bracket. Just 4 3-3 teams. That means that if you didn't win 4 games, you might not even qualify for gamma bracket. It's more likely than not that you didn't qualify for the lowest bracket we were going to allow to have unless you won 4 games in the Swiss stage. That is rough. You lose twice in the tournament, you have a near zero chance of making alpha. You lose 3 times, you're probably not even going to make Sunday at all. Now, you compare that to last month, and it's kind of the same concept, kind of not. Like, if you were to combine, when we have 4 Swiss groups, if you're going to combine Group A and Group B together, like, you would get that same kind of statistic. This isn't like, this is basically us chopping all of that in half, and you still get like the not this many teams move on. So the Swiss groups isn't what screwed over everything going into Sunday. The difference was the fact that there's no top 32 anymore. So instead of us like basically taking every single 4-2 team and like a couple of 4-2 teams on the edge don't get a chance to get into top 32, we're just literally taking the best teams and skipping the top 32 stage and say, y'all didn't make it. Sucks to suck. Don't feel bad about it. And this is an extreme example because when you're at 127, that's literally the edge of this format that we can run. So this is like the most extreme example you'll ever have for a double elimination alpha bracket format that we were running this time around. So that also kind of like throws the numbers off. I don't think we've ever ran this format with that many teams before, but literally if 2 more teams checked in, we couldn't do it. We couldn't mathematically do the tournament this way. That's rough. That is stressful. I couldn't imagine playing through Swiss as a team that is like, oh, this is our month to win it. Okay, well, you just lost once to another alpha bracket team that's in your group, and now you got to play another alpha bracket team in the next round, and it's just round 4. That must suck. that must really suck. I wouldn't know. So there's 2 philosophies here. There's 2 philosophies that we have Loink. What is the purpose of Loink? You guys know this one. The main purpose of Loink is to prepare teams for the next step for life after Low Inc. This is a low-level event designed to get teams into competitive Splatoon. Yes, that was what this event was originally designed for when Hoenn and Kraken got together and first made Low Inc. when it was the only tournament going on for low-level. It was designed to get new teams in. We still do a lot of it. We still get I could cheat and show you guys all of our verification sheets. We still get a lot of teams that this is their first tournament ever. And that makes us excited. And a lot of those teams stick around. They funnel down the little Squid League. A lot of them say, this isn't for me. I'm going to go back to trying to help Fry win another Splatfest. But that's the point of Low Inc., right? So how does that conflict with what we had going on this past tournament where so many teams had to struggle just to find a foot into alpha bracket or into gamma bracket? I think it still keeps the same thing. It gives teams a goal to aspire to. I like the fact that gamma bracket means something. I don't like it when in past, like epsilon bracket was watered down, or a delta bracket was like, well, we shouldn't be doing a delta bracket technically, but we're going to do it anyways. And I'm not sitting here like bashing any of those teams or saying like they shouldn't be there. But the fact that gamma bracket's so difficult to get into makes qualifying for Sunday something you can really be proud of. You can say, yes, I made it to Sunday. Like, I'm playing in Championship Sunday, even if it's in gamma bracket. And there's still a lot of teams, even with the Epsilon, who have that mentality. But I think having it more difficult to get it into Sunday is something that just gives teams more of a goal to grow and to continue to move into the right direction and eventually become that team that's on alpha bracket. Yes, I get to be on the stream on Sunday, the ultimate goal for a lot of teams. It's the natural progression within low ink. The conversation of the low ink skill cap is too high, and it's like, for what part? Because like there's 20 different branches within low ink. It's the culmination of the entire low level scene all in one monstrous tournament, and I think it works out kind of perfectly in that sense. Beta bracket required you to be 4-2. That's still crazy. Every single team was 4-2. Man, we'll look at beta bracket in a minute. But just knowing that every single team you're playing against is the same exact record as you doesn't mean they're at the same skill level, but they're close. So that's the main philosophy that we have going on with low ink. And that's how I feel like, even though this tournament was tougher, it still fit into that philosophy. Of course, you have the second philosophy. This is a tournament, right? Like, this is, like, we can preach, like, oh, this is so good, your guys are getting better, and, we're growing, we're setting goals. All that stuff is good. At the end of the day, the strong live and the weak perish, as every anti-hero in anime will tell you, because they are right. Winners take all, and losers get to watch the stream. We are playing a competitive tournament here, and that should mean something. It is the culmination of all the low-level tournaments. It's not the lowest level tournament, so don't get that twisted. And it should be difficult to get in this one. This was by far the most challenging low ink we've had in Splatoon 3. And since Splatoon 3 has been out, no low ink has been more difficult to win than this one. Literally every single team lost at least twice. Even WD-40 lost twice. They lost in the Swiss stage once, and then they got bracket reset, so that's technically an L they took right there. Nobody got close to being undefeated in this low ink. Everybody took 2 losses, minimum. That is insane. Alpha bracket was an absolute bloodbath. But despite that, I'm still kind of surprised at the number of 3-0s that there were, a number of sweeps that there was. But even though there was a lot of sweeps, it's just kind of who you got matched up against, like who's the team that you were going to play. And alpha bracket teams, I'm so happy for you, and I'm jealous for you, or jealous of you, because you got to play in something, and you got to experience something that you honestly can't get in any other tournament. There's nothing more stressful than knowing that this might be your only shot ever to win this tournament. That you might get banned next month, or the next month you might go 4-2 and fall down to gamma bracket. Like, nothing is guaranteed for you in low ink, especially when you don't grind things outside of low ink. When you just pigeonhole yourself in low level, you're going to be staying in low ink forever. I promise you. You got to grind other things to get better. But you got to play in a stressful alpha bracket. And what got exposed is your strategies, right? So the first check mark that you do when 2 teams are playing each other, in anything, the better skilled team wins 100% of the time. And if they don't, it's known as an upset. But anything, Splatoon, bowling, football, if my team is better than your team, I just straight up win. It doesn't matter what you do. I don't care what kind of strategy you guys are going to come up with to play against FT Win, or what kind of weapons they're going to use to meme on you, you're not going to beat them ever. There's nothing you can do about it because they're just that much better than you. That's just the fact of life. If my players are better than you, you lose. However, the most fun you can have in any kind of competitive setting is when you are playing against a team that is very close to your skill level, where it's almost indistinguishable of whose individual skill is better than the others. Because at that point, it comes down to two things: strategy and experience. The teams that have been there before, that can deal with the pressure, their experience are going to shine through. And the teams that can make the right strategic plays in the right moments, those are the ones that are going to get the edge on the other. So it really just came down to Alpha Bracket being nothing but strategy and experience. And that was why you saw the top three lay out the way that they did, because those three teams had the both of those kind of things meshed in together. And really, you just saw a bunch of teams that couldn't handle that kind of pressure, that couldn't, when push came to shove, staring into the abyss, they blinked. WD-40 blinked a few times, but then they kept bouncing back when they absolutely had no choice but to bounce back. They made so many jaw-dropping plays in the right kind of moments because they showed they had the experience to get it done. Whereas other teams that didn't have that experience folded because they couldn't play through the Alpha Bracket. I felt, I didn't really feel bad for anybody who didn't win, but we had two teams that were 6-0 going into the tournament on Sunday. And the old Alpha Bracket format, the old rule used to be you don't want to go into Alpha Bracket 6-0. Not that there's anything in theory wrong with it. Yeah, you want to be that number one seed to play the 16 seed. But if you go back and watch Popcast from about 4 years ago, I'm literally month after month after month talking about how the number one seed is just getting bodied by the 16 seed. You saw that happen so many times in Alpha Bracket. You see the team that feels like, oh, well, my Swiss group was easy. Okay, now you're literally, in this Alpha Bracket, you are literally playing nothing but teams that got 5 wins. That, like, you're literally playing nothing but monsters every single day. There's literally no cupcakes here. Even the 4-2 teams almost knocked off the 1 and the 6-0 teams at the jump. Like, man, there's nothing you can really do to deal with that. Saturday meant absolutely nothing. You just had to qualify and then roll up your sleeves and go to the fight. Competitors live for tournaments like that. If you're a true competitor, you loved playing in that Alpha Bracket yesterday. And I'm not sitting here saying that if you lost, that you couldn't handle the pressure or that you weren't ready for the big moment or anything like that. Your opponent just matched up. Your opponent just got the job done. And you can't experience this anywhere. I don't care how many send-out queue sets you play. Nobody's watching you play a send-out queue set. Your opponent might be like way better than you on paper. You don't know if they're taking it seriously. You don't know if they're trying an experiment with new things. You don't know if they're in VC with their teammates or not or whatever. It might mean more to you than it does to win that match than it does for them to win that match. Nobody pays attention to that. You won't experience this playing in like an SOS finals or even a Proving Grounds finals or anything like that. This is a different kind of heart rate that goes on in your chest when you play in an Alpha Bracket like this. And you may never experience this again in your competitive Splatoon life. Unless you like get in those rare moments like an SAC finals or you make a deep run at a LAN. Like it's just not the same kind of feeling. So you got to love moments like this because you'll never really capture that same kind of feeling again. I'm curious for this month of Low Ink what the player feedback is. I haven't looked at it. I don't know if we've even put out the form. It's not like we're going to change the format. The format we ran this time around is what we had to do. It's not like, oh, you guys are going to suggest something we haven't thought of as far as format-wise is concerned. Like, the double limb we have to do with this. The top 32 is what we got to do with that. That is we've stressed over it that much. But I'm genuinely curious to see the feedback of oh, I liked Alpha Bracket because it was double limb finally, or if you'll get more teams that are like, I prefer the top 32, even though it's a single limb Alpha Bracket, I get like this group warm-up stage before we go into it, and if I beat a team, I know I don't have to worry about them later down the road in Losers Bracket. Like, they're done, I can move on from it. I'm genuinely curious what the player feedback for that is. But I'm glad we got to go through this. As long as we're on Battlefy, nothing is going to change. But I'm still glad we got to see this. It's been a long time. For those of you who go on Twitter and you see these old heads talk about, well, back when I played in low ink, it was way more difficult. This is what they were talking about. Like, that stress you felt in this tournament, that is what all the old heads are talking about. And I'm glad a next generation of low ink players got to experience it. And, well, enjoy it, because we might be a while before we get here again. Summer is coming, and numbers get a little bit scary high in the summertime. So enjoy the old format while it was here, because I certainly did. Back in my day, low ink was all in one day. And we played a German team in grand finals. It must have been like 1 or 2 a.m. their local time. Highlighted messages. Pop Gun retiring his TO. No. No. There's still some things I want to accomplish with low ink before I start hanging things up. Didn't fight Bubbler in low ink, but I played against it and It's Dangerous to Go Alone. That doesn't count. The only time, no shade, It's Dangerous to Go Alone. That's the first tournament I played in, but I would look at that for like, oh, you might have just played like a junior who does nothing but junior. The only time we lost to abused Bubbler Crab to cheese the checkpoints in every TC game, we just didn't have the weapon to deal with it. Yeah, I feel like you're going to see a lot more Bubbler in TC in the coming months or so. To this day, I'm still winging it. Oh, with commentary? Yeah. Everybody is. I mean, there's no... RZA took like improv classes. And I feel like that is like the best kind of like training you can do to be a commentator, honestly. And Ash Espel, how many teams won that went 4-2 in day one? It's happened before, and Zestfest only almost did it last month. I think the answer is less. It's either 5 or less than 5. It doesn't happen often, but it has happened before. Ink Fluency became the first team ever to win as a 4-2 team, and they were the 16th seed in an alpha bracket. So just another example of seed don't really mean diddly poo in alpha bracket. It certainly didn't mean anything this month. A handful of teams have won in 4-2 low inks before, but it's mostly the 5-1 teams that win it. Low ink is the only tournament that made me so stressed out. LeMayo, my heart rate was so high. Good. They'll, the next time you play in a tournament, that gets you, you're going to be used to that feeling now. And you can't practice that. Like, there's no scrim that's going to get your heart rate that high. There's no Syndaku set that's going to get your heart rate that high. There's no paddling pool set that's going to get your heart rate skyrocketing like that. It's a cool feeling. It's a really cool feeling. You feel like you're alive. And you're just playing a video game. It's so weird. How do you cure fear? You got a fear of anything? Fear of spiders? Fear of heights? Action against the fear cures the fear. I am deathly afraid of snakes, and I have no intentions of curing that fear of snakes. I'm not going to present action against the snake to overcome that fear. But experience rules the day. Experience is everything. Speaking of experience, a lot more experience points were gained by players in a bunch of other tournaments this weekend. Let's hit it up. Recap the week. Paddling pool number 263 took place on Saturday, or Wednesday, I should say. It was won by oh my gosh, I wish I could read words. Parallel Cannon. Santos took second place, and is the team that rounds out your top 3. I'm going to turn this down. That feels like, there we go. That seems like a safe volume to be at. The conversation after this paddling pool was the fact that the team that won used Dreadringer, Splattershot, Tri Nouveau, and Luna Neo, and setting the narrative of, well, you can win any weekly tournament with any weapon if you believe in the power of friendships, which is true. Like, what Acene said is true. Acene didn't go on and say that this is the new meta, or that you can win a major with this, or we're ahead of the curve against Jackpot. No, like, that's not how that works. The same conversation I just said. Skill beats lower skilled every single day. But when skill levels equal, strategy plays a bit of a difference. And there clearly was a strategy for Parallel Cannon that worked in that one. They play somebody better, they're going to get wrecked with that comp. But they could use the meta and still get wrecked with that comp. That doesn't really change anything. That's the point that I gleaned from it, not anything else. Triton Cup number 76 took place last Friday. It was Project Polevi. Project Poli got first place. Chingo and the Girlies got second, and AEA rounds out your top three. 37 teams played in this EU-friendly double elimination bi-weekly tournament. 37 is massive for a double elimination tournament, especially a weekly one that caters to one region. You still saw some NA players playing in it, but still, that's a lot of teams. Dapple Productions doing some solid work over there. Nice job. Speaking of which, we'll keep the Dapple Productions. This is an all Dapple recap we got going on right here. I need to change this logo. Squid Junction number 66 took place on Saturday night. It was won by Essence. Sushi took second place, and Flop Nation rounds out your top three. I saw the teams that signed up for this one. I saw Essence. I saw 1111 Make a Wish. And I saw Kraken United play. I had to look at the calendar and see, is this a Squid Junction from 3 years ago? Like, this is so weird seeing all these teams in here, but there we are. Squid Junction is the last significant tournament that I can think of that is not on Sendow. They're still on Battle 5. Maybe they'll stay on there forever. Bullet Pop Gun, what about Minnow Cup? I don't know. I'm sure Minnow Cup's still on Battle 5 is significant. Speaking of which, even though it's not, let's make this awkward transition over to the Collegiate Cephalopod Association. Season 5 regulars reschedule week report. Okay, so these are all the matches that haven't been played yet. Virginia Commonwealth University, also known as the Big Fat Sea Cows. You ever heard of them? They got a 4-3 win over Penn State University in Division 1. VCU pulls out a win over the Season 4 champs to claim the top spot in their group. Doesn't surprise me. The Big Fat Sea Cows are pretty good. Case Western Reserve University got a 4-1 win over Stevens Institute of Technology. Steven has an Institute of Technology, and people go there and play Splatoon. That is a thing. That was Division 2. Division 3, California State University Long Beach got a 4-0 sweep over the University of Houston. In Division 4, Texas at Dallas got a 4-1. God damn it. Rochester Institute of Technology. Worcester, Texas. No, wait, I think I said that one correctly. Division 5, Arkansas State University got a 4-0 sweep over Villanova University. In Div 6, Ohio State University. The Ohio State University got a 4-2 win over Newmont College of Computer Science. That should wrap up the regular season and bring on the playoffs. And that was your weekly recap. Sponsored by the Weekly Inc. There is a new YouTube series hoping to come out, I'm assuming weekly, on IPL that is going to recap the week. Kind of like what I just did, except in a much better detail with visuals and a voiceover from Jard and all the good stuff. There is a hard-working production team within IPL working on that every single week, led by Jardonian. So give it a look. The first episode of that is already out on the YouTube page of IPL. So if you want more of a recap, look for that. The Weekly Inc., the official sponsor of the Weekly Recap. From the Ink Up isn't in there? Hold on. Somebody give me the link. I forgot to do it. I always say I'm going to add From the Ink Up in there. And I never do. Where? So we're going to fix that. Last week. From the Ink Up number 52. Friday the 19th. It just says Discord. Oh, wait, no. I click on this. And it goes, all right. Start it back up again. I got you. From the Ink Up number 52. It took place last Saturday. First place went to Hyperzone. Second place went to Rainfall. Third place went to Krill Switch. The players from Krill Switch looks like they're all... oh, is that Australia's flag? I believe so. Yeah, D-Jam is playing in that one. So Australia's staying up to play for Krill Switch. They get third place, Hyperzone first, and Rainfall second. It looks like a grand total of 37... Oh, wait, no. This is just the gold stage. The team seeded number 37 made top cut. And there are like 46 teams that played in this tournament. Bi-weekly low-level tournament. And that was your weekly recap. Again, there. We got it in there. Quit your crying. Ohio State does have a splat team. Given the Ohio scene, I'd be more surprised if they didn't, honestly. Winners from the group stage or from the Swiss stage. Swiss stage of low ink. I got about 10 or 11 different winners here. First off, shoutouts to Rewind, who went 4-2 in this tournament, getting key wins over Zenkai, Insecure Connection, The Bar, Land Crabs as well. Rewind went 3-3 last month. This time around going 4-2 like several other teams did, which is still impressive. Remember, be kind, please rewind. Caution went 5-1 this month, getting key wins over Copycat, Frolic Madness, Ink Floyd, Art Supplies, and Blake Spruter. They lost in round 1 and then finished out the day with 5 straight wins in a row. There's more stress right there. Imagine losing in round 1 and you want to make alpha bracket. Well, we just got to win out for the rest of the day, I guess. Caution was able to do it. Nicely done to them. Stardust Ink Satyrs went 4-2 in this tournament, getting key wins over Marine Fate, Roncola, Frolic Madness, and Blitz Wave. The last time we saw Stardust Ink Satyrs, they were playing in alpha bracket of October of last year. This time around in beta bracket, but obviously making beta bracket in this tournament is still extremely impressive. The Bar went 4-2 this time around, getting key wins over Krill Streak, Ethereal Winter, Infinity, and Ink Bait. The Bar appears to be a new team, and they looked good on stream when we put them on in round 1, going 4-2 this time around. You passed the Bar? Well, only 2 teams did because they went 4-2. Frolic Madness went 3-3 in this tournament, getting key wins over Copycat, Nectonic, and Krill Shriek. According to the tiebreakers that we like to use and are the correct ones to use, Frolic Madness was the toughest 3-3 team in Group A, which squeaks them into a competitive gamma bracket. So nicely done to them. Clairvoyance went 5-1 in this tournament, getting key wins over Arrows of Fire, Determination, Abyss Inc., The Whip Rays, and Red Velvet Sea. The last time we saw Clairvoyance play, it was last month where they got 5th place in Gamma Bracket, this time qualifying for Alpha Bracket outright. I think they had a little bit of a roster changeover. Seemed to work out into their favor. Hibiscus went 4-2, getting key wins over Sheer Cold, The Night Logic, X-Name, and Elegant Diamond. They got 5th in Gamma the last time that they played, which was in October. This time around going 4-2 and sliding into beta bracket. The Whip Rays. Oh my gosh, the poor Whip Rays. 4-2 in this tournament, getting Q wins over Solo Q, Ewfish, Squid Roll Up, and Determination. The Whip Rays finished ninth in their group and missed alpha bracket with an opponent win percentage that was only 0.057 percentage points away from breaking the tie of the team that was above them. Man, that is rough. So basically, if you're gonna lose, you need to hope like everybody that beats you just like does really well. What you really need is the teams you beat to do really well. So like you don't want to 3-0 your opponents. You want to give them some like you win the first two games to win the set, and then you throw the third game, but like slightly throw so that your opponent feels confident. Like, hey, we took a game off those guys. And then they go into the next set and they carry that momentum and they get more wins, which helps your opponent win percentage. Like that's the true tiebreaker strategy you should be going with right there. Would have worked for the Whip Rays. Still an impressive run as they get in the beta bracket. The stars align. Went 4-2 in this tournament, getting key wins over a name I'm not even going to attempt to pronounce. Cruz is what I'm going to go with there. Drinking Your Milkshake, X Name, and Alicization Inc. Alicization Incorporated. That's INC, not INK. Thank you. Thank you for not spelling incorporated with a K like everybody else in the Splatoon community. Big ups to you. Stars Align started off 0-2 and then turned it around, winning 4 straight in a row to find themselves into Gamma Bracket. And now, we traditionally say we don't care about what you do on Saturday because it all comes down to Sunday if you're 6-0. However, the biggest winner from Saturday has to go out to Strawberry Soda because what they accomplished is legendary almost. So yes, we'll just get this out of the way. Strawberry Soda did not win the tournament. So everything I'm about to announce, does it really matter in the grand scheme of things? No, it doesn't. It's still really cool, though. They went 6-0 per matches, 18-0 per games, and they did that by having the highest opponent win percentage in their group. Literally meaning they played the toughest schedule they could have possibly have gotten out of everybody else's schedules that was played in the Swiss group, and they went 3-0 in every single match that they played. You literally could not play more perfect on Saturday statistically than what Strawberry Soda did. Does it mean anything, grand scheme of things? No, but I can only think of like a few teams that have pulled off a feat like that. There's been teams that have gone 18-0 per games. Very few, if any of them, actually win the tournament. But none of them have, or very few of those teams that actually did that were able to do it with the toughest schedule they could have possibly faced. Like their opponent win percentage are like in the 50s. It's like, okay, you just got fed a bunch of babies over and over again. You just kind of got lucky that, oh, this is the worst 3-0 team you could possibly play in this round. It just so happens you got matched up with them. Strawberry Soda played the toughest teams they could and beat them all. Beat them senseless. That should be worth something. It's not, but it should. Gamma, Alpha, Beta, we'll call it a day. All right. So we're looking at a Gamma bracket. And again, the vast majority of these teams went 4-2. Some of the teams, some of the matches we're going to be taking a look at here. Starting off with the Modern Butterflies, who ended up right here, beat Hook, Line, Sinker, lost the Game 5 to Fearless, and then started beating up some people in losers bracket 4, getting knocked out in losers round 4. Beat Stars Align, Alicization Inc., thank you again for the INC. Lullaby number 2 ended up knocking them out. Modern Butterflies, this is one of the very last teams to squeak through registration. And they made the most of it. So whatever made them decide in the last minute to sign up for Low Ink paid off for them. They did pretty good here in this gamer bracket. Lullaby number 2 is another team we're going to be talking about here. Beat Alicization Inc. in Game 3, Tropical Melody, before running into the buzzsaw of Inkception. And then getting another win down here, finishing 4th place in Gamma Bracket. Lullaby number 2 is a pickup, we're assuming. Probably a sequel, given that they got a 2. And the rest of the name is Butterfly Lullaby 2 May the Chaos Unfold. And they got a little kitten here. So there you go. The chaos did unfold for a little bit, at least into their favor. Last, we're going to take a look at Fearless. Now, Fearless went all the way and only lost to the 2 teams that finished first and second here. In fact, they took Ultra Krill to a Game 5. So nicely done to them. Survived a Game 5 against Modern Butterflies. It's probably a stressful run through them as well. But hey, they're Fearless, so they get the job done. Fearless dropped last month. So here's what happens when you actually play. You get a trophy. You get a bronze medal in Gamma Bracket, which is the arguably the most competitive Gamma Bracket of all time. Which is why it makes it even more impressive when Inkception just bullies everybody all day long. And this is, again, Inkception actually wasn't even in this tournament, were they? I think we did have one team drop, and I don't think Inkception even qualified for Sunday. And this is something that we always used to see all the time. Every single bracket had the 6 team versus the 1 seed. And the main mentality of this used to be the 1 seed, and I'm not saying anything about Ron Cola, I'm just in general. The 1 seed in a gamma bracket or beta bracket is like, man, I wanted to be in the bracket above. Like, I came this close to making the bracket right above us, and I couldn't. Whereas Inkception's like, yes, we get to play it all. Like, we thought we were going to have to play Splatfest all day. And then they upset the number 1 seed, and then they just giggle and laugh their way through a 3-0 to everyone before winning the whole tournament against Ultra Krill. Now, I think Inkception has won a tournament, a low-ink bracket before. I don't think they've won a beta. I think they've won a gamma before, but this is still, it doesn't surprise me when I saw them here, but it also just plays to the fact that, you know, like how you did on Saturday doesn't really change anything to Sunday, because Inkception wasn't even supposed to be playing a gamma bracket, and they curb stomped the entire thing. Now, they beat Ultra Krill, and if you're wondering who Ultra Krill is, it is a team who said I mispronounce their name so often that they decided to come up with something that's easier for me to read, or for anybody to read. This is Cephalopod Helvectia. And they're literally the same exact team, and now they're Ultra Krill in all caps so that you don't miss it up. It's all caps. They're really yelling their team name at you, so don't get it wrong. So there you go. You finished second place in this, but hats off to Inkception. The true Cinderella's run, going 16 and the 16 seed winning Gamma. Beta bracket. This is so silly. Like, these numbers don't mean anything. Like, this is like, we do seeding out of Swiss with the record and all that stuff, but literally everyone here is 4 and 2. Literally everyone has the same exact name. So like, what? Oh wow, we're the 5th seed. Oh wow, Blake Spruter, they're the number 1 seed. They should be the favorite. No, like, the team that ended up winning this one, it was 6 versus 3 in grand finals. Number 9 made it all the way. Number 15 technically upsetted the number 2 seed Whip. Like, none of these numbers mean anything. This is just rough. This is just one rough little battle, and it went to a bracket reset in the end right there. Let's do down to some teams. First off, let's give a shout out to Cosmic Latte. Where are they? They got a win over the Red Velvet Sea 3-0. The Manta Boat Fan Club took Stardust Ink Satyrs to a Game 5. And ultimately got knocked out by Royal Banquet. So it's Cosmic Latte. I think I had them in the top 10 last month. Always a contender to do really well low ink. I saw that they were disbanding, which is unfortunate, but is the ultimate outcome every team's going to have at some point. We all disband someday. Nothing lasts forever. But Cosmic Latte, congratulations to you guys, and hopefully, or I'm assuming we'll see some Cosmic Latte players pop up in the next edition of low ink on a stronger team. Can look to them in the future. Big fat Sea Cows. I just talked about them, how they're the best team potentially. They beat Penn State in Division 1 of the CCA. Forgot that you're supposed to actually show up to play in round 1, and they got 2-0'd by Elegant Diamond, and then said, you know what, let's just have some fun in losers bracket here. Squid Roll Up 2-0, Blake Spruter 2-1, Whiprise 2-0, VQ Vector Cry 2-1, and then Royal Banquet ultimately knocked them out there. So Big Fat Sea Cows only losing to the 1st and 2nd seed. Again, I didn't put them in the top 10 because I didn't see them sign up at the time that I was making the top 10. They would have been a top 10 team. Like, I would have put them in there somewhere because they were really strong last month. They made top 4. Um, and this is just another case. We put them on stream on Saturday. They played WD-40, I believe, and WD-40 just got a statement win against them. And that's the breaks. Like, so a lot of these teams play their alpha bracket matches early on Saturday. And it's like, okay, this is a single limb tournament. This match right here is the single limb tournament, and it's round 4 Saturday. Sucks, but them's the breaks. I'm glad that they played through beta. They got 4th place. Good. Building experience going to pay off in the long run. Stardust Inksaders made it all the way to the 3rd place match in losers finals before getting swept out of there. They beat Cosmic Latte 3-2. Blake Spruter. Like, these 2 wins back to back. Like, this is a contender to win. This was a contender to win. And Stardust Inksaders, who's been in alpha bracket before, took care of business against both of them before Elegant Diamond knocked them out. And then Royal Banquet just got the better end of them here in this one. So, like I said, Stardust Inksaders, they were in alpha bracket back in October. Play again next month. Like, don't wait another 6 months or so before we see you guys again. Play again next month. Keep that grind going. You'll get there. You may already be there. The grand finals for this one, Elegant Diamond taking on Royal Banquet. A nice back and forth where Royal Banquet ultimately got the win 6-2 over Elegant Diamond. So these 2 teams in general, first started off with Elegant Diamond. They were in beta bracket last month, which means they were in top 32. Royal Banquet was in alpha bracket last month, out of top 32. The interesting thing is both Elegant Diamond and Royal Banquet were 2-1 in their group stage. Elegant Diamond had that awkward situation where 3 teams in their group went 2-1, so the tiebreaker worked against them. They went 2-1, fell down to beta bracket. It's rough. Even your group stage can be a single elimination tournament in top 32. This could be a potential late alpha bracket matchup next month. Like, this could be the beginning of a rivalry for something we see in on stream next Sunday in Loing, because both these teams have alpha bracket DNA in them. It's just a matter of if they can survive the gauntlet of Saturday. Same thing you say about everybody, I know. Alpha bracket. First off, Blah Blah is a surprise team in this month. We saw him on stream against Clairvoyance, got the 2-0. We saw him off stream give Strawberry Soda not just their first individual loss. Like, this was the first L Strawberry Soda took all time. They were 20-0, and then they ran into Blah Blah, and they got swept. And that was the biggest jaw-dropping result of the thing. Like, I'm not surprised Strawberry Soda lost. I'm surprised they got swept. And that's not to say anything negative about Strawberry Soda. That's to say it's impressive for Blah Blah, only for them to turn around and get swept by WD-40, which is what made me thought, okay, well, how good is WD-40 now? Because, like, they beat the team that beat them earlier. Crazy alpha bracket. Really crazy. Blah Blah ultimately getting another win against Lush. Blah Blah beat both teams that were 6-0. Lush was the only other 6-0 team, and they almost lost to Hibiscus in the first round. Ultimately got knocked out by Marin Katengay early on. Blah Blah played both teams that were 6-0 and beat them both. A combined 5 games to dropping only 1. That is insane. That is insane. And it sucks because we're not going to remember Blah Blah because they have a horrible name for branding. I don't even know if they're a real team or a pickup or whatever. But yeah, like that's the only knock against Blah Blah. But other than that, like, they literally slayed Goliath twice. That is really impressive for them. Lush, they went 6-0 on Saturday. They had the best opponent win percentage in their group. I talked about Strawberry Soda having that one. Lush didn't go undefeated per games. But the number 1 seed here, again, just escaping Hibiscus. Another one of these, well, you're not really the 1 seed. Like, this is alpha bracket. Welcome. And Marin Katengay was not messing around on this day, eliminating them. But Lush got the better end of most of this stuff. They kept getting pushed to game 3 against Starlight, just squidding. Like, just look at this alpha bracket. Like, this is losers round 2. And these are the teams that are in it. Just Squidding, Howdy Hat Pirates, Strawberry Soda, Starlight, who won beta bracket last month. Like, this is just round 2 of losers. This is insane how stacked this is. Lush ultimately getting eliminated. I never heard of Lush before. This is a breakout tournament for them, obviously. Hopefully it's a real team. We see them come back play in future lowings if they're even going to be allowed because they look pretty strong. Zest Fest deserves a lot. If I'm a member of Zest Fest, I'm honestly thrilled with how we did it this month. I'm like beyond excited with how we did in this month. Yes, they finished in second place last month, and this time around they finished in third. Who cares? The important thing is, what does this mean for you as a team going forward? Getting consistent alpha bracket results proves that they were the same strong team we thought they were. Yeah, I had them as my number one team. They finished in third place in the arguably the most difficult lowing to win ever. That is impressive. But if I'm a member of Zestfest, I'm saying, yes, we're getting consistent results. They're going to be doing just fine in the future. I wouldn't feel bad about this at all. Getting only really losing to Marion Katengay, but they pushed them to the brink in that losers finals there. Just squidding, caution. Finished second place, I think, in their Swiss group. This is Zestfest is the real deal. They may never win a low ink. They may never get another opportunity to. I have no idea. But if I'm a member of Zestfest, I got to be feeling good about where our team is at going forward. Nicely done to them. Wavebreakers, the other team that deserves a little bit of a shout out here. Wavebreaker beat Starlight 2-1, took a game off of WD-40, the only team to do so on the winner side of the bracket. And then Howdy Hat Pirates and Strawberry Soda got eliminated by them before they couldn't survive Zestfest. This is like, if there was a send out results page for Wavebreaker, like they got a really good resume built up right here. Wavebreaker is also the only team to beat WD-40 on Saturday. WD-40 was 5-1 going. That's why they're the 11th seed in winning the whole tournament. Wavebreaker getting a little bit of or WD-40 getting revenge on Wavebreaker in the set that was on stream. I didn't realize this was a rematch when we were watching it. What it worked out there. So Wavebreaker, the last month that they played in low ink, they got 5th in Gamma bracket as a 4-2 team. This time around, going 5-1, and yeah, good things happen for Wavebreaker this month. That just leaves the top 2 teams in grand finals. For Marion Katengay, who got swept out of winners, pushed Zestfest to a game 5 before winning that one, was able to win 5 games. If this was a grand finals, that was what we've been doing the last month, which is just one best of 7 set, Marion Katengay would have won. Now, there's a bunch of other variables to change. You can't make that exact same statement. But the fact that they pushed them to a bracket reset and won the first game of the bracket reset was impressive. And again, they look to be just as strong as WD-40, if not even better. It just came down to who made the hero plays in the set. I love the fact that Marion Katengay had 5 players they were using. I love that they could sub them out. I love that they had, okay, if this map shows up against this comp, Mark Evans is going to go in and the Mewing is going to go out. I like that they had a rotation of things. They had actual strategy. Again, something I've been talking about over the course of this episode. Strategy was the real difference in this alpha bracket. But also what was the difference in the set was just who's got some guts to them. Like WD-40 had some legit guts. The fact that they lost this first set and then they lose game 1 of this one, I thought Marion Katengay was going to run away with it. I thought it was over at that point. And then WD-40 wins another game. And then that Rainmaker Scorch Gorge game. You got to go back. I'm not going to show the clip because I don't have it ready. But if you recall, WD-40's got this huge lead at the end of the game, Rainmaker Scorch Gorge, and then Marion Katengay's got the Rainmaker past the podium, and they get a lot of splats on WD-40. Only one player's left. Dreezy, on the dualies, rolls off the cliff, fires directly at the Rainmaker, dies, but ends up getting the trade with the Rainmaker. If they don't get that 1v4 trade, they lose the game, and then they lose the tournament. That's what I'm talking about. Like the clutchness. Like who's got ice in their veins in those key moments? Because if your hands are shaky as you're rolling off that edge, Dreezy doesn't get that kill. They lose the tournament. Instead, it's calm, collected in the moment. I'm gonna roll. I'm going to Ultra Instinct, lock onto the Rainmaker, and I'm gonna get the kill one frame right before I die. That's greatness. That is greatness. And in that game 5, Dreezy and their teammate. All of their teammates played fantastic, but Drag as well. DZ, not Dreezy. DZ and Drag on the Carbon Roller just made some huge hero plays. In that Rainmaker game as well, Drag forced WD-40 to get the huge lead. DZ forced WD-40 to win the game at the end. Big time players step up in big moments, and that's what we got to see in this set. This was such a fun set to watch and to commentate. This was just two teams playing a video game, just going after each other, and who's the last one standing? Literally one more player left in the zone at the end of heading into overtime. Just goes to WD-40 and they win. For Marin Katengay, this is back-to-back great results in Alpha Bracket. Finished top 8 last month, this time second place. Barely almost didn't win the tournament. You got to feel really good for them. They've obviously getting better. Caffey was insane. KFY, like that, or CAFY, like that player was literally just like finding the right angles to get things done and get the right splats necessary. Especially, I think it was Zestfest on the tower control where they just find the way through everybody to get onto the tower, kill the player right in the tower, and shut the game down right then and there. Mark Evans was fantastic on all the Charger player weapons that they needed to use. Marin Katengay was just a solid team. WD-40 just wanted it more, as they say. For WD-40, these are worthy champions. Again, I'm impressed they bounced back mentally after being down 1-0 in the bracket reset. I thought it was over then and there. But they literally forced their way into a game 5 and then took care of business when it came to it. They stepped up in big moments, and I don't know what to expect from them in the future. I don't know if this is a real team or not. They do have a Twitter. That doesn't mean anything anymore. But I hope WD-40 can take all the experience, and every team that played in this alpha bracket took all this experience and use it to make themselves better going forward. Because that's the point of this lowing. It didn't matter who won that game 5. Like, yeah, we're going to remember this set. We're going to remember WD-41. But every team that played in this alpha bracket gained something on Sunday that can help propel them to being a team that wins an SOS, that wins a Squid Junction, that wins a paddling pull down the line. And hopefully they all find a way to do so. Every time Hattie has played low ink within the first 2 rounds, we get paired against a finalist. It's so rough. Well, yeah, a lot of teams can say they played the champion because they win and they keep advancing, but that's alpha bracket. Like, you got to beat those teams at some point, whether it's an alpha or, I would want to play the low ink champion in a best of 3 predetermined map Swiss stage, but if you're big fat sea cows and you're WD-40, that's a set you're gonna win. You have to win that set if you want to be a team that wins low ink. It says Boquet. Bouquet, not banquet. Yeah, you're right. Royal Banquet. I'm hungry. My bad. Lush has 2 players from Aquarius. Okay. I could look at our verification notes and probably could have seen that, but I didn't. But that makes sense. Bouquet. Aquarius was a alpha bracket team in the past. All right, my brain is shutting down. Let's stop talking. If you would like to be a part of the Popcast in any way, feel free to reach out my socials below. Twitter at Mr_Popgun, Discord at just Popgun, Twitch at Popgun25, YouTube at 25Popgun, Anchor.fm/Popgun, and let's just raid Prochara. That's a safe one. We're getting closer to LTC. Make sure you got your flights in order. Make sure you got your roommates that you need. Make sure you got Falco's packing list ready to go. And I'll see you guys there. But we still got a few podcasts to go before that happens.